We've got the new Action 5 Pro on the testing block today, and it is compared up against the Action 4. Settings wise on both the cameras, they're on either 0 or auto for everything. The Action 4, I've turned off the low light enhancement, and we're about half an hour from sunset. So it'll be interesting to see, as it gets a little bit darker, how the two compare. And then when it is darker, I will then turn the Action 4 low light enhancement on, and then I will turn the super night mode on the Action 5. Right now, as you can tell, I'm in the arse end of nowhere, and there is no lights around. So it will be interesting to see how they do when there is no shop lights, street lights, car lights, whatever around me. Let's not forget, both cameras have got this same sensor size. They've not increased it from the Osmo 4, and they both have an f-stop of 2.8. I've purposely not put on the screen which one is the 4 and which one is the 5, because I want you guys to comment below which one, left or right, do you think is the 4 and which one do you think is the 5. Towards the end of the video, obviously, I'll let you know. Now, can anyone let me know why did DJI go for 5 Pro and not just 5? Because you got the 3, you got the 4, just have the 5. The 5 Pro has got quite a lot of upgraded features or new features compared to the 4. And I think I'm going to do separate videos on each of those rather than having one extremely long video where I'm trying to compare everything. I'm going to break it down into smaller videos. Today is obviously the low light capability. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be doing plenty of tests on the 4 versus 5. I think one of the next ones I'm going to do is the stabilization, because not only is there the normal Rocksteady Plus horizon balancing as on the 4, but they've also got an extra layer of stabilization called Daily or Sport. DJI have upgraded the chip in the 5 Pro, 4 nanometers, I think, 4 nm, and it's got 13.5 stops on top of that. So they really increased it over the last year. So last year had, I believe, 12 stops, but I am just the average Joe. I don't know the exact ins and outs of all these. I'm more of what you'd call a real world user. A lot of the time, I'll leave them on auto and just press record and go from there. Let's face it, that's how half of us are going to use these products. We're not going to go to fully manual mode all the time or straight away. We're going to get used to them. We're going to enjoy them. And then when we're comfortable, we'll then start increasing what we know about them. Is having this low light capability a big deal? I think for me personally and how I use the cameras, I'd say yes. So not only am I going to use these cameras for this channel, which is going to be a bit of tech, it's going to be about my BMW 1 series. I'm going to do some modifications to that and do some photography and videography around cars as well. I've got another channel which I review motorcycles and I do motorcycle related content. So having the low light capability will help me on both of those scenarios. Action cameras have been notoriously bad when it comes to low light capability for the bikes, and they kind of got to the point where you just wouldn't use them at night time. You just wouldn't bother filming. Now when it comes to the car side of it, and coming over to the car side of it, when you are filming inside, it's very dark behind you. There's not a lot of natural light sometimes. So having the camera being able to increase, again, the image quality is fantastic. Yes, the Action 4 does have the low light enhancement option, but the Action 5 with its super night capability being enhanced by the AI with inside the camera. So it'll be interesting to see when the sun sets a little bit more and have a little walk back how it is, especially just through there. You can kind of just about see it there. It gets very, very dark, so there's hardly any natural light through that section there. So it'll be interesting to see how the two cameras do side by side. One thing to note when looking at the settings on the Action 4, when you enable the low light enhancement option, it's in auto. So you don't know what situations is going to turn it on versus turn it off. So right now I could turn it on, but I don't know if it's going to be activated in the footage. So I hope so. Otherwise, we're just looking at super night versus normal video. This is obviously a new channel, so it would be a massive help if you give this a thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe, because there are going to be plenty more videos coming with the Action 5. It's now 7:10. Sunset was about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to go through a very dark overhanging bit. I've now put the Action 4 into low light enhancement mode, and the Action 5 is on super night. One thing that's interesting actually is I went on to exposure adjustments just to make sure they were both on auto. The Action 4 maxes out at 12,800 ISO, and the Action 5 maxes out at 51,200. So adding on the super night capability, also the ISO can bump up a hell of a lot more than the Action 4. Right now, as I'm looking at the screens of the OLEDs, the Action 4 looks unusable, and the Action 5, I can still see me, but we will obviously have to see what it looks like when we get back on the computer. There we go, I'm getting out into the open a little bit. Don't forget, there is hardly any natural light where I am right now. Once I get out of here, I'll head down into the town and we'll still see how they do down there. Right now, I am impressed with what I can see on the screen only, obviously, from the Action 5 Pro. I've never really done anything like this with the Action 4, so I've not actually seen how bad the low light capability is of the 4 for myself. And even here, kind of street lamps, cars coming past. The 4 almost doesn't look usable, and yet the 5 looks like it's doing a really good job. Why is it so many of us watch YouTube? Do we forget how these videos are made? Because I don't know about other people that do this, but I still feel self-conscious walking around, filming myself, talking to myself. And whenever you go past anyone, they look at you funny. Or is that just me? It can't be. And there we go then. In the village. Very overcast. Not much ambient light at all. By now, you must have guessed which one's the 5 and which one's the 4. So I will put it on the screen. Genuinely, I can't express enough how good on this OLED screen the 5 looks. I just hope the footage looks as good on the computer as what it does here. Unfortunately, I don't have an Insta Ace Pro, whatever the latest one is, because obviously that's got really good low light imagery. It was definitely better than the Action 4 from the videos I've seen before. But I think now the Action 5 is going to definitely give it a run for its money. Sadly, someone else got to do that test. Well, I hope this quick low light capabilities test has helped you decide if you want to buy a 4 or a 5. If you do want to pick yourself one up, there will be an Amazon affiliate link in the description box below. Help me out. You don't pay anything extra. I'll get a little kickback. Everyone's a winner. Well, catch you on the next one.